Welcome to the Bigger Room podcast. I'm your host, Jill Bender.
And I'm Mel Cobian, and today we're going to talk about why 1 year of obsession can change your life. What if we dedicated a year to obsession? What does that mean? When you think of obsession, Jill, obsession of a goal, what does that mean to you?
That means putting everything into that one thing. I mean, where you sleep, breathe, eat, that is on your mind. You are diving into everything you can, learn about it. My son has these little mini obsessions, and I mean, he has tons of them. Like, I'm hoping this will be a strong point for him as an adult, where he's just going to dive into something and then become a millionaire because he's so focused on this. But right now it's ridiculous. Like, he will get obsessed with one thing and he gets so fixated on it for sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short. But like, we went through a Garbage Pail phase where he had to have every Garbage Pail kid and he wasn't letting it go. And he was looking them up online. He's drawing pictures of them. He's making them out of clay. Like, he just has these mini obsessions and he has to know every single thing about them. And like, he's always drawing them. Right now, he's currently obsessed with starfish. He wants me to buy him a starfish.
Get him a starfish.
I told him when we get our new house, we will get our saltwater tank and we will have a starfish. But we're not getting one here.
You have to name the star Patrick.
Depends on the star. Depends on the kind. But we could.
I also wanted to say that when people think of the word obsession or, becoming addicted, it might sound like a negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
No, only because we think of like serial killers that become obsessed or fixated on people before they eat them.
Jeffrey Dahmer over here.
Yeah. I mean, he only lived like 40 minutes from my house.
Maybe 30. Is that right?
The prison that he got killed in eventually, that prison, we would pass that on the way up north where my aunts and uncles' cabins are. And it was always like a fun highlight of the trip because my dad would always say, there's the prison. And we'd be looking because you could see the guys with the guns walking around on those things, the towers. And it was scary and super exciting as kids. And that was the prison that he was eventually killed at. So,
fun fact.
Fun fact of the Midwest.
So, what do you think people need to have in order to become addicted or become obsessed? Because I think like you can't just wake up one day and be obsessed about something. What do you think it takes to get that passion for somebody to have that obsession toward their goals?
A chromosome defect.
Jill.
To think of like serial killers, so we have to stay focused that this is becoming obsessed with things that are going to improve your life. I think it comes down to your why. Like, is that where you're going with this? I mean, because if we look at like track stars or swimming stars or, people that are in sports, even at a young age, and they work their ass off to be that number one. And why do they want to be that number one? Like, what does that truly mean in their head that's going to give them that satisfaction of being the best? And then other people, that isn't as important.
So last night I watched Diane, I think it's Nyad, is how you pronounce her name. It's a movie on Netflix, and it's the woman she was 28 years old and was an Olympic swimmer, and she attempted to swim from Cuba to Florida, to the Keys. And she failed. I think she was like halfway through and she failed. And then at the age of 60, she tried again and failed. And 61, she tried again, she failed. 2, I think she tried again and failed. It wasn't until the 5th time at like 64 years old that she swam across the ocean from Havana. Yeah, she was 64 years old. This was the 5th time. And you need to watch this movie, Jill, because it was just like, it blew me away. And she said 3 things when she finally made it, because she had to walk after swimming nonstop. It's just insane. And this was last night. And then I was just sitting there like, I have no freaking excuse for life. This woman just blew me away. And then, so I just looked her up on social media, and then she's talking about how she goes for her walks every single day. And I was like, dang it. You know, she just had me raise those standards of like, she's just an incredible human being. But again, goes back to, she was obsessed with that goal because she had that drive, whatever her reasons were, but she freaking swam at 64 years old across. Nobody's ever done that before.
That's incredible.
You need to watch. Everybody needs to watch that movie, and that will change your life. If it doesn't, watch it again.
What was it called again?
Nyad, Nyad. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's her last name.
What's her first? Oh, that's all it's called.
Diane.
Her last name.
It's just her
Diane.
last name. I think
Nyad.
Nyad, Nyad. Yeah.
Right. Bigger Room Fans. Check. Let us know what you think. I will try to put it on the list. I'm currently watching Riverdale again.
Seriously? Riverdale has nothing to offer to you, Jill.
No, I don't even know why I started it, but I started it again. It's my 3rd time at least that I'm going through it.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
If actually I can tell you what it offers me. There's certain days where I am doing a lot of research for the pod. I'm doing my content. I'm like a super hyper focused days where I feel like I worked for like 10, 12 hours. And sometimes I'm like, I have to shut it all off. And if I were to just lay down and play on my phone for a little bit, I would put a mindset book on, and so that's still making me think. I'm like, I want it all off. So then I just turned on Riverdale, and the only problem with those is that you get mini obsessed on those too, and then you're sitting here all day on a Tuesday.
We're watching Netflix. You know, and I think that that's important that we have that transparency, because, you know, when we say, like, if you become obsessed, if you become consumed and dedicated to your goal for 1 year, and I'll kind of break that down a little bit, it can and it will change your life. But with that being said, you still have to be able to find that balance, right? If you're not coming up to breathe, if you're not coming up to enjoy life, to, you know, celebrate the little wins, it's not worth it.
No. Right? You probably won't even get there either, because it'll take over your whole life. Yeah, and you'll burn out. Like,
yeah, badly. So I had to book myself on the weekend, so I make sure that I'm living life.
Yeah, it's important.
It is. It really is. So what I wanted to say is that most people get unmotivated or discouraged or can't. What does this happen? So I want you to think about your goal. And for a lot of people, it's either fitness or wealth. It's just those are kind of the 2 big pillars that people have goals toward. And when they start focusing, right, you start shifting your attention to other people's results, or doing like a 30 days, 30-day challenge, or that person made X amount of money in 30 days. Why didn't I? You're going to get discouraged. So what I've been telling people is something that my business coach told me was, take your business 1 quarter at a time. You should see improvement. You should see growth, and growth can mean different things. Maybe you are more resilient toward respecting your meals, or maybe now working out is easier, or getting more steps is a lot easier. Or now at your business, you're growing more leads, like getting more people to click your link, growing your followers. So just focus 3 months at a time and growth every quarter. And that takes a lot of pressure off, like a ton of pressure. because you're not looking at it day by day or week by week, month by month. It's like this quarter I did better than last, and if I didn't, let's have that reflection. Why didn't this work out? And usually it'll be pretty clear.
It makes it more obtainable in your mind.
Yeah. So it's just switching from that month to month hustle to that quarterly reflection. And you just rinse and repeat every year. The goal is to be growing every single year. This is a journey. You're going to do this for the rest of your life.
As long as you're building it the right way and you made good choices.
Yeah, which is why you give yourself that quarterly feedback, like, something is not working for my business, or something is not changing with my body. What's going on? And it takes time. And I think that isn't really said a lot in this space. Right, Jill?
Yeah. It gives you, it is a good practice to get into, because then you can also say, well, these things do work, but I even though I've been working on for 3 months, I kind of kept skipping, like 3 days here or there because I wanted to go drink White Claws on a kayak. But you have to be real with yourself, and they'll give you a chance if you're doing those 3-month check-in, instead of looking at it, a year from now and going, oh shit, why didn't that work? Oh yeah, because I had a lot of days on the White Claws or the kayak or whatever your reasoning is. And so give yourself, I like that 3 months, and then you can regroup with yourself and figure out what's working, what's not working, what are you ditching, what are you improving, what are you doing more of.
Yeah. So like at the time of this recording, the first quarter of the year, it's gone. Like there's nothing we can do about it. It's gone. So then you reflect on that. Like, what did that do for my business? What do I need to do to grow, or what do I need to do? What do I need to double down on? Whether it's fitness, the same exact thing, right? You should be learning a lesson every quarter from your business and your goals, because that way you focus on the things that are working, and then you focus on figuring out the things that are not. And that's how you stay focused for 12 months. That's how you stay focused and obsessed with it for a year. You inventory every quarter. Yeah.
So I have a really good idea, listeners. I think this is a really good practice for us all to take, because like Mel said, we just finished the first 3 months of this year. The first quarter of 2024 is done. Even if you've taken zero action on any of your goals, even if you haven't done a single thing, I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen, and let's write down what has worked well for me, what has made me happy in 2024, when was I not happy, maybe kind of make a little list of both. And just by writing them down and looking at them, you might be like, you know what? I do hate hanging out with Chrissy. Like, she sucks and she makes me mad, and I'm not going to hang out with her that much this year. Like, that is what you will look at it and reflect on it and then go, yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do this anymore, and maybe I want to do more of that because that was amazing. Even if it's like walking around the zoo. Like, did that make you feel really good? Maybe make that a monthly thing if you feel like it's going to benefit you in some way. I'm going to do it. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget, because I will forget as soon as we stop talking. I don't know how many.
Yeah, that's a really good exercise. It completely changed the way that I looked at my life and my business. And it's important to have that reflection, because what was, I think for anybody, it's very overwhelming to think month to month, month to month, month to month. Yeah. So
that's what they say. Like, that's what they say. If your goal is to make $100,000 in a year, don't look at it as, by the end of the year, I want to have made $100,000. Break it up into sections. Like, by this time, like, that means every month I want to make this month, or every quarter I should have at least made this. And break it down into smaller sections and more attainable goals.
And you mentioned like a really interesting example, like Chrissy makes me feel not good, so I'm going to stop hanging out with her. And I think that it could be something so, and like, it might not be easy for a lot of people, but sometimes it's like, it's not that you don't have the drive, it's just your environment, the people around you drain your energy or don't have the belief in you or what you do. And like there's this reel I saw the other day that said, don't let somebody with a 2-cent salary, tell you that you can't achieve your goal. So who are you listening to? It's another question.
They also say, why are you taking advice from somebody who doesn't even make, 5 figures, 6 figures, whatever you're trying to make? Why are you listening to that person when they are not where you want to be in life? If they haven't achieved it, they really should have no say over what you're going to do. And we are all guilty of it, though, because we love these people generally. That's why we've been hanging out with them for so long. But they really have no place to say what you should be doing, where you should be going, how you should be spending time or money. Like, this is so messed up, okay? Still, even with all of the mindset that I do and that I know and all the growth that I've done in the last year, I'm sitting here today. I just said this to somebody earlier. I bought my house during the recession. I paid $86,500 for it. And right now I could sell it for around 200 or maybe a little over. I owe like 65,000 on it, okay? So I have a lot of equity in the house. But this is like the perfect buy where you buy it cheap and then you can rent it and then you have this money over time. And I always that's on my list for 2024. I want to have rental homes as additional income. But every time I mention it to anybody, oh, what if you get bad renters in there? What if they've wrecked stuff? I've had renters. It didn't go well. I have not, even people I know that own rentals gave me negative feedback, like insisting that I shouldn't do it. And I'm like, you guys own rental. Oh, we got really lucky because we know this person that rents them and this person's amazing. And I'm like, okay, but I could get the amazing. It's like, but I don't know anybody that it has like a super successful rental business to give me any of that positive feedback. So of course I'm looking to the internet to give me information, or people like, I know you would be positive about it, but you don't own any rentals either. So it's not like I can come to you for encouragement, but you don't have any actual background knowledge on it that I know of. Do you have rentals?
Yeah. Well, we are. I will be renting out my house in like 5 months. Yeah. So it's something that I agree with you, Jill. It's like anytime you do try to dive into a different field, you kind of turn to your circle of people that you think also have your back, and then you're kind of taken aback with, oh, I thought you'd definitely have my back, and it's like they're trying to discourage you almost. So it's like, damn, now I have to figure out again, start from zero, people that are going to encourage me, because we know in general that real estate is a good place to be in, right? Especially given the amount of equity you have in your home. So don't have anything for you yet, my friend, but maybe later this year. There are going to be distractions. There's going to be moments like anything where you just don't know if you want to keep doing this. But one thing I found about giving yourself feedback every 3 months is, am I still enjoying this? Is this still something I want to do? Do I still want to be creating videos? Do I still want to, create this offer? And then you might find that 3 months from now, maybe 6 months from now, you don't want to be doing that thing anymore. And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. I was just going to say that's why I think giving yourself that feedback is super, super important, because a lot of people don't tell you that it's okay. It's not that you're failing. You just realize you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Like, I thought I was going to be in the Olympics and then I just stopped. Just kidding. I never thought that. I never wanted that.
You're going to want to, after watching that movie that I told you, the Naiad, you're going to be like, I want to be a swimmer.
Next week, you're going to be like, I'll be meeting to record a pod. I'm like, no, I have swim lessons.
Yeah.
Is that I think I mentally have sort of been doing this check-in with myself these last few months. Like, I have this new venture with the podcast. I'm loving it. I've been learning a lot of new things, and I have been trying to create more of my own content of the stuff that I've been doing for the last 2 years now. And I'm realizing quickly that it's not really where my passion is. It's not what I love to do. It's more becoming a hassle and a burden. And I'm like, oh, I got to do that. So I know long term that I've already done a mental check. This is not where I want to be. And
The content creator side of things, you don't want to do the long term.
I like content creator. I don't really necessarily like the short form anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've always really been into content creation, more so the YouTube side. Like that is, I had tried that, and I was, I was getting not good. I definitely wasn't good at all. And I was just telling Mel earlier, I had like a big fancy Nikon camera, and I knew how to use like 0 settings, and I ended up selling it just last year. And I realized that I could shoot way better stuff on my phone. It would help me with the lighting. It would help me with everything. And I don't even tell people what my Halloween channel is because those videos are so cringy. Like, and if I would ever get around to posting my last year's haunted house, which I don't even know if I ever showed you that video.
No.
Oh man, it's awesome. So for 3 years now, I have done a haunted house out in the garage. And it's just like, because I have a pumpkin carving party, and I thought it would just be really fun because my son, his mini obsession in 2020 was Halloween. And he was like, we were at Spirit Halloween, I'm not even kidding, twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And we were driving. I'm not going to lie, I was helping with the obsession, but he started it. It just became part of our life for that amount of time, that like time period. But I drove an hour and a half to go to a Spirit Halloween that we hadn't been to. Like, they all had different things. And so we were driving all over the place and doing these Halloween things, and we were making videos at a lot of them. And so we had a lot of Halloween stuff because I was constantly buying him things at some of these stores. So I thought, what better way to display it than to set it up in my garage? And I have a 3-car garage, so like 1 car space, okay? Because the rest of it, I needed room for the pumpkin carving. So I have to have tables up, and I have to have room for people to hang out and have snacks and have all the good stuff. So it's a small spot that I set it up. The first one, it's just a little walkthrough, and you definitely wouldn't call it a haunted house. The second one got better, but I made it too many like turns of darkness. And then you try and watch the video, and it's just black like throughout the whole video because there's not enough lighting in there. And I have stuff hanging, but you can't see it because it's black in there. And unless you're tall and you're going to like bump your head into a fake head, you don't even know it's there. You just got to like go through. But yeah, I get super, super scared. So I set up my haunted house this year, and I'm going to show you the video, Mel. And audience, if you want to see it, send me a message. I will send it to you because it is really freaking good. This year, it's so good. Like, everybody loved it. But basically, I hang up, black walls in the garage. And this year, I had put up an actual wall because I realized with the former year that there was it's so dark in there. So so I started with a wall, and it was a white wall. And then I put bloody handprints on it because it was a backdrop that I ordered to make videos with, and then I didn't use it. I immediately put it in the haunted house, and it's like white brick. And then I had bloody handprints all over it. And then I put photo booth. And I was like, yes, I would have a photo booth in this haunted house. This is so cool. So like you go in and there's the photo booth. This one had like an actual flow. Like it actually made sense as you went through it. And I have a lot of like little kids. By then baby was going out of business. And I bought like 3 of the babies. Like 1 toddler and 2 babies, I think. So I had 2 headless babies playing ping pong with like a little skull.
What? I need to see this. I need to see this. Halloween's my favorite. Like, it's my favorite holiday.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah,
it's my favorite holiday.
It's really good. It's a good haunted house. It's the best one that I've ever. I mean, it's not a great haunted house, and you're not going to walk through and go anywhere. But for what I've been creating, it's a good one. And then I had Jamie edit it for me so it would be cooler. And I love it. It's so good. I don't know why I still haven't put it on my damn channel. Like I just
send it to me. I want to see it.
I will. I gotta find it, but I will. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, why did we talk about that?
No idea. No idea.
We often talk about things with you, Jill, that I have no idea how we got there.
No idea how we got there. However, it seems like Jill's very passionate about creating YouTube videos, and I think that's Jill's calling, being a YouTuber. And I could definitely see that. And I look forward to blowing up our channel, and I look forward to us freeing up our time this year and getting it together and blowing things up, because I want to be with you when we do the bath bomb video with the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like for us, right? We're gonna be moving in a few months, right? We're gonna be relocating, and a lot of people might kind of freak out about that because some people might see it as an obstacle. But I think that's when you have a goal and you are really committed to it, absolutely nothing that like life throws at you can make you change your goal. That's kind of the difference. You're more resilient because you're obsessed with it. That's the difference about being passionate about achieving your goal. Whereas it's like, oh yeah, I want to start a YouTube channel. Oh dang, this happened, so I can't do that anymore. So you really need to ask yourself if there are things happening in your life and you're deviating away from your goal, what you may think is your passion, and it's not happening or you're not committed to it. Ask yourself if that's really where you need to be, because it may be that it's not.
And I would caution you with this, based on what you just said, is caution you guys with, when you're setting this up and you are starting to realize that you're becoming obsessed with something, you're like, yeah, I'm going to make this happen. Set up a realistic goal. Is this something that you're expecting you to happen like in 3 weeks? Or is this something, like YouTube, for instance? When I was doing YouTube, that whole Halloween passion was in 2020 when I was working from home, and I think Spirit Halloween was one of the few stores that was starting to open up and we could go into, but I kept telling anybody that knew I was doing it, they would always say, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time? I'm like, in 3 years from now, this channel will be amazing. And then I will start seeing money from it and all this stuff. But I always had that 3-year mark in my mind. That was a realistic goal for YouTube channel. 3 years. You have to know what your passion is and what you're trying to grow. Because if you think it's just going to happen super quick, you probably will burn yourself out, because all of a sudden it's taking way longer than you expected.
Yeah, which is why I like the 12-month, like why you stay focused for a year. Give it at least a year. And I know for a lot of people, gosh, a year is a long time. It's not. Again, the first quarter of the year is gone. It's freaking gone. Mm-hmm. And just like that, the second quarter is going to be gone. There's half a year. And then it's just downhill from there, because it's summer, then it's fall. Then for whatever reason, it gets cold and people think that life stops. And then here we are again next year with a new year, new me, new motivation. I'm going to get it done. This is going to be my year. So how many more years are going to go by? Just pick up that pen, pick up that piece of paper, lock in your goal, analyze it every 3 months, and let's see where you are 1 year from now. That's how, like, if you stay in the bigger room with Jill and I, you will continue to find that bigger room, because we are always seeking it. And that's the thing. You have your circle of people that are always, moving forward. Because if I don't hear from Jill, or something's happening, or she doesn't hear from me, what's going on, Mel? Hey, Jill, you good? You're just kind of checking in on your people to make sure, because again, we are human. But it's a lot harder when you're by yourself. It's a lot harder.
It definitely is. I just want to give a little, maybe some tips, Mel, if you have any. Let's give our listeners a handful of tips. So let's say you do really, really, really want something in life, and so you've been thinking about it the whole time you're listening to this, and you're like, oh my God, I've always wanted to, maybe it is start a YouTube channel, maybe it is to run in a marathon, like that one thing that you are thinking about right now that would be so cool if you did it. How do you become somebody who's obsessed, because maybe you do truly love it, but you don't really know how to get that obsession. And I don't think it necessarily means that maybe that's not your calling. I think that maybe you didn't know how to get it started, because once you get something started like that, you build up that momentum, and that obsession builds up more, and you're like, yes, oh my God, I love this. I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to put in more and more efforts.
I would find 2 or 3 people to listen to, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's a podcast, or maybe you buy their course, and just stick to their knowledge. Because if you start buying, for example, like if you're trying to lose weight or find like the best meal diet that works for you, and you buy the paleo diet and the keto diet cookbook, and then you just start buying all these books, then you just have information overload. So the first thing is, don't overwhelm yourself with information. Find 2 to 3 people that have success in the area that you want to have success, and learn from them. Just stick with them. That's the first thing. The second thing is, how are you going to measure this goal, right? Like Jill said earlier, it has to be a realistic goal. So write down how you're going to measure this goal. If your goal is to lose X amount of weight, how are you going to track that quarterly, right? Because maybe the thought of weighing yourself is very intimidating. Maybe you don't weigh yourself and you just take pictures. That's what I had my clients do, is just take pictures. Don't even touch the scale. Because if you can look different and that's your goal, then we take those pictures. So just figure out how you're going to measure your goal so that you stay.
Yeah, or taking measurements also. I've had a lot of things over the year. Take measurements.
Yeah, because with weight, I've weighed the same and looked completely different.
Right? I would say me too.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot more muscle, and then before I had my son, I notice where I carry my weight more now since I have had him, because I've lost a lot of that muscle, but I still maintain that extra weight. It just went to a different area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I mean. It's like you can weigh the same, but that's probably going to shock you, because if you're gaining muscle, things are changing, water, so many things. Find how you're going to measure, whether it's measurements, pictures, is it your bank account? Figure out how you're going to measure that you're making progress.
If you want to run the marathon, then maybe I'm going to run 10 miles, by the 3rd month or by the 6th month, or, have some smaller goals that you can hit early on. It's going to help build the confidence. It's going to help keep you motivated and push you forward and keep you excited.
Yeah, and it just takes the pressure off of this like monthly check-in, monthly feedback. It's 1 quarter at a time, guys. 1 quarter at a time. It changed my life when I started seeing my business that way, and it made me more motivated. It made me let go of trying to control too many things at once. Got to give it time.
Well, I did want to say, you said find 2 or 3 people and learn from them, but don't just be a consumer of the knowledge. Like, actually put it into action. And so I think what Mel is saying, like, you're not going to try and listen to like 500 people giving you all this different advice. You want to find the people you're going to relate to, the people that are making the most sense to you, the people that you want to listen to, and just focus in on them. Like, one of my mentors, when I got started, he told us, like, our homework assignment was to go in and unfollow anybody that wasn't related to what we were doing. It's like, unfollow all of them. They are a distraction. They're there to, they're probably going to give you different information, maybe wrong information. Stay focused where you're at right now and remove the distractions. But yeah, take action on those.
Yeah, one of my old fitness mentors, he said, knowledge is not power, applied knowledge is. And there's a difference there. So just because you know but don't do, then do you really know? So I love saying that when people say, I know I should be doing this, or I know I should do that, then why aren't you doing it? So there's, again, that feedback. That's the most important thing. That's how you pivot every quarter. And again, making sure that you are in love. You have to be in love with what you're doing.
Become obsessed.
And in 1 year, your life can change. your life will change.
Your life will change for sure. If you yeah,
A year,
if you do
a
any
year ago. Mind blowing. Gosh, a year ago I was just waking up. Let's put it that way.
yeah. I've been going through my taxes and putting all these charges and everything, and the progression of the timeline is so funny. I was like, oh, this is when I started getting all these huge deposits, like 24,000, 26,000, like these gigantic chunks of money. And I paid off this, paid off that. And then I'm like, oh, look, here's where I started spending some of that money. Oh, look, now the credit card bills are getting higher again. Oh, look, you weren't learning any lessons. Just blowing through all your fucking money. Like, just stop it. It's like, I've been cracking up watching it. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It is so crystal clear what happened.
Yeah. But you know something now. You have that.
Oh, man, I know a lot.
You know a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, whether or not I learned anything.
Again, this is why I tell myself I don't have any bills. Things get taken care of. I don't have any bills. For those of you that maybe you document your journey, maybe you don't realize how far you've come. Maybe you do a video diary. Like if you don't want to journal, maybe you record yourself for 2 or 3 minutes and just talk about how you feel and where you're at right now. Then watch it 3 months from now.
That's fun. That's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
A video diary. So I actually did a video diary before I launched my new venture. I did a video diary, and I'm not going to look at it for a while. Because
why didn't you have us do that when we started the podcast?
I didn't have this knowledge then, Jill. But I do. On my phone, I have a video diary. I just like impromptu video diary, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes long. I think it's a good way, because now you're staring at your old self. It's much more powerful when you're like, because I have journal entries from years ago, and it's still powerful to read, and I can see where my mindset was. Like today's version of me is here today because I journaled and I gave myself that feedback. But that video entry is just more raw. So if you feel that you can bring yourself to just talk 2 or 3 minutes, talk about how you really feel and what you'd like to see in 3 months, and then watch it in 3.
You want to see in 3 months?
Yeah,
maybe say what you expect to happen on the thing, and just be careful about how you're talking. Don't be negative. Just be completely honest. It's only you listening to this. It's just for you.
It's just for you, because that's the only person you have control over. It's you.
I love it. And with that, that is the end of the episode, but we really, really, really want to ask you a favor, a huge favor. It's going to help our podcast grow. So if you could please give us a review, we would really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening to us today and tuning in every week. Every Tuesday, our episodes go live. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, guys.